just to read out some of those, as you may already know, in business, things like a shortage of funding, the psychological barriers and biases against women, and then our own fears of failure. The lack of networks and mentors. People aren't always tapping into things like this. And then this is a big one, juggling childcare and a growing business. Unfortunately, predominantly the childcare falls to women, as does the housework still, even as we've come this far. And then for women that are working, similarly, insufficient childcare and caregiving support, because it might also be caring for aging parents, lack of access to flexible and remote work, which has shifted, but some workplaces are now saying everyone needs to come back in, a widening gender pay gap, lack of sponsorship, and unconscious bias, as they like to call it. Sometimes I think that's just a nice term, because sometimes the bias is conscious. People are well aware, but we just call it unconscious bias because it sounds a lot nicer to give them a bit of grace. So these are the kinds of challenges that women are facing today, and that's not to mention the things that we're facing outside of our professional lives. Women, I was looking at statistics recently, 1 in 3 women are likely to have suffered abuse. I don't have a statistic, but so many women have suffered abuse in their childhood, and they may never have told anyone about it, but they still carry those scars and those wounds internally. And when we talk about abuse, we often think about domestic violence, but as I'm sure you know, abuse covers a range of things, from physical and sexual, which is more commonly known, to financial. They're trying to highlight that more, the coercive control, the mental and emotional abuse. So, these are things that they affect men, but they affect women far more. Exploitation. And so these are the challenges that women face, and things that can mean that we are often sometimes starting on a lower playing field because of the adversity that we have suffered in our childhood, or we're facing greater challenges in our working kind of lives, which means we've got to be all the more resilient, because not only are we, and understand this correctly, we're more burdened in terms of we've just got more responsibilities, things that fall to us, but as well as more obstacles that are put in front of us in the world of work that we need to deal with. So working on ourselves is a really, really key thing. There's an argument, and it's one that I do personally adhere to. It doesn't explain all of it, but that widening pay gap, some of that's down to us, ladies. Because we are not comfortable asking.
Is that mine, Karen?
We're not comfortable saying, I can command that amount. I want more money. I am doing a good job. I think I deserve a pay rise. We're not comfortable with that. They say a man looks at a job description, 10 things, he sees one and goes, I can do that one, I'm going to go for it. So a woman looks at a job description, sees 10 things, look, gets to the 10th, can't do that one, I won't apply. So we disqualify ourselves oftentimes. And so it's all about this, ladies. We've got to get our minds right. So the bit that we can do to level that playing field, we do. And then the systematic things that need to be changed, we can come together and advocate for those to be changed. But let's make sure that we're strong enough within ourselves, empowered enough within ourselves to do the bit that we can. So what I always like to share whenever I'm talking is this little bit here which says relax, slow down, breathe. Just take a breath right now. Take it easy, enjoy life, and smile. And I just literally came across that one day and thought, brilliant. Literally, there's always one of those that just stands out to me that bit more, and I just thought I'm always going to share it with you. So take whichever one of those resonates most with you. So just to give you a little bit about me and my organisation, the Like Me CIC is a leadership development, employee empowerment and wellbeing organisation that I started in 2018, and we empower and inspire women who typically hide behind a mask of doing okay, to know that they're more than what they've been through, so they can overcome obstacles, unleash their potential and advance in their businesses, in their careers and in their lives by developing their leadership skills, enhancing their employees' empowerment and improving well-being. We work with organisations and individuals to retain and develop female talent, to progress gender and racial equity. A little bit about me. I like to call myself the empowerment champion because that's what I believe is my calling empower others. And I'm an international keynote speaker, lead trainer, author, coach, and overcomer of abuse. I'm a TEDx multi-award-winning speaker who's
Wow.
on BBC News. My work's been recognised outstanding by mayors, and I'm a member of CIPD and set professional bodies. And I like to use a double P approach, and that's where I combine my professional expertise alongside my personal experiences. I think that builds great connection and allows for far greater transformation. And the vision that we have at the Like Me CIC is to empower and inspire 1 million women, because we recognise that when we do that, we create billions of possibilities. So just to give you a little bit about my story, growing up for me was quite tough. I'm my mum's only child and my dad's eldest of 4 girls. So emotional and physical abuse were a regular part of my life. I learned at an early age to cope with difficulty. I would go to school and no one knew. The bruises weren't always seen. And I learned, unfortunately, to create and accept difficulty. You set patterns in childhood for adult life, and unless those patterns are undone, unfortunately, we recreate them ourselves. And I found myself recreating them. So I realised I was in a toxic and abusive marriage, and left that, went into refuge with my daughter.
Wow.
What made a massive difference for me was that I'm a woman of faith, and that I'm someone who has the ability to focus on what I want and to really go for it. And those 2 key things have made a major difference for me.
So you've hit rock bottom.
Oh, definitely. And that's part of my process that I shared, that empowerment method. It came about because I'd hit that rock bottom and was able to look back and just think, how have I managed to fall so low but yet not feel destroyed? I'm able to pick myself back up and
Resilience.
How can I do that? And I know that I'm not the only person that's hit rock bottom. I'm not the only person that's worn a mask. You know, there are many other women out there who just want to feel free to be who they are, and you know what, to show their scars without the shame, and then to achieve their dreams. So my why today, my why whenever I share, is because I want every woman to know that what you've been through doesn't have to define you, and that you can overcome. I felt disempowered, so championing female empowerment is my mission. And when looking at the challenges that women are facing today, it prompts me to share something from our empowerment method that's from a man called Stephen Covey. Yep. And so he talks about the circle of influence and the circle of concern. So I'm going to share that with you today. And I'm also going to share with you my triple A process, which is something that I've created over the years of business, which I've realised has led to me being able to just advance in the ways that I would hope. So, just to define a few key things, because one of my things as a trainer is I think it's always good to be clear. And years ago, when I started talking about empowerment, I was told by someone, oh, no. You should never say that you're empowering somebody. But almost who are you? Like, people empower themselves. You're not, almost like you're not God. And you think, oh, because I'm not someone that likes to be presumptuous. And so that really set me back, actually, on this journey. The person meant well, but it came from a lack of clarity and understanding. Hence why I've since learned, always seek your own clarity and definitions. Get concrete clarity for yourself, because this person didn't understand the full definition of the word empowerment. Power means the ability or capacity to do something or act in a particular way. It can also mean the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behaviour of others or the course of events. So that latter definition is typically one that we hear about, the influencing, the directing others, but actually it can be about us, our ability or capacity. So to empower can mean to give someone the authority or power to do something. And this is the definition that I think this lady had when she was like, who are you? But what she did not know was to empower can mean to make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. When I got that definition, I was like, yes, Lord, I knew it. I knew it. That's what I wanted to do all along. I wasn't trying to give people the power that they already had. I wanted to enable women to ignite that power, to own that power that they have. Because the issue can be, is that for many of us, we have the glass, we have the cup, and it gets filled, and we just go, oh yeah, have this. We just give it away. And then we go, no, I'm taking my power back. I'm taking my power back. And then we take our power back, and then somebody else comes and we go, oh no, just have that. Yeah, okay. And we give it away. Because what we don't learn is how to retain that power, not just claim it, but how to retain it. Thank you. So, it's really important that we not only learn to claim our power, but how to retain it. And so, what I want to share with you, and what I'm hoping you'll really grasp from today, in relation to this circle of influence and this circle of concern, is how you can keep not only your power, but keep yourself topped up. Because we're also pouring out constantly. And as women, we keep pouring and pouring and pouring and forget that you need to refill and refuel. Now, that's the story for another day. What we're going to focus on will impact on how we can keep full, but really it's about how we can just keep our power. Because I'm going to hand this around to you ladies, because I want you to take a look at this. What you can see with these two images is we've got a larger circle, which is the circle of concern, and within that is the circle of influence. So I'm just going to pass that around and take a little look. So our circle of concern is the larger circle, which when we think about every day, you wake up, you've got things that you are concerned about. Switch the news on, oh my God, there's the war in Ukraine, there's the cost of living crisis, there's 1 in 5 kids that don't have a book. You know, there's figures about things like abuse that, you know, women and girls are suffering and exploitation. You're hearing about the mental health challenges that men are undergoing, which means the suicide rate is on the increase. There's so much that we can hear that is very, very concerning. And if we're not careful, that can be what we focus on. Oh my goodness, and we worry about that, and we allow that to feed into our psyche. We expend our energy and our focus, our mind on these things, and leave little room for the things that we can actually do something about. Because the news, the war in Ukraine, you know, the weather, I can't do a lot about these things. On my own, in isolation. There's always something that you can do though. But to change those things in totality, I can't do a lot about them. But if I have the right mindset, which is what this focus on the circle of influence and the circle of concern encourages us to do, it means I always ask myself the question, so what can I do? Because when you look at this circle of influence, it's those things that you can influence. It's those things that you can impact, like what you wear, what you eat. Sorry, enjoy. You know, what you read, where you go. You chose to come here today and to be in this positive environment. You could have gone, oh well, but you know, I'm just a bit tired, as you said. I'm not feeling too great.
I won't rearrange the work schedule.
Yeah, you know, you can do that. It's within your control. But all too often we've given away the power, and we're like, oh, but I have to do this and I have to do that. I have to. Do you have to? Or are you choosing to?
So it's a mindset shift.
Mindset is the absolute key here. What am I going to choose to do? It's a challenge I'm having with my husband, because everything's have to, you must, you have to. I'm like, listen, I'm acting up. You can see, well, we've had a contentious time. Because I'm like, I don't have to. Would you like me to? But then I can make the choice to do so, but I don't have to. Because again, if we're thinking about how filled up that cup is, that have to creates stress and pressure, and I'm draining my cup that lot more quickly, not a bit, that a lot more.
So we should think about the language that we use it to ourselves.
Absolutely critical. Mindset first, then language. Because if I think about what I can control, it means that I'm like, do you know what, the war in Ukraine, I can't do anything to stop that, but I might send a donation, because that's what I can do. I heard about someone who's a truck driver, and actually went, do you know what, I want to do something. They rounded up troops, people with stuff, and they drove a truck to Ukraine to help people. That's what you can do. When you think about what you can do, you feel empowered, because you see the difference that you can make, first of all in your own lives, and then in the lives of others. So just to share what we've got in that circle of influence, gossip, can't do anything about that. I might say to someone, not a good idea, but if they want to, that's for them to choose or not. What I can do is say, right, I'm going to go and sit over here, then you little gossip or so-and-so, you know, but I can't stop them. Right, so I'm not projecting out sound at all. Right, I cannot, it's not within my power to make people feel a certain way. I can try, but it's not within my power. So that's something I can be concerned about, how others feel or the actions they take, but it's not directly within my control. Even my 5-year-old daughter, it's not within my control. What other people think of me. I think it was Steve Harvey who said it, and I love the quote. What other people think of you is none of your damn business.
I love that. I say that all the time.
It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Now, as business owners, of course, we have reputation, and that does matter. But that's quite different to what we're talking about here. Do they like me? What they're thinking? You know, those niggles, those worries that erode away at the power that's within you. The news, the war, weather, past events or regrets. What's done is done. You can't change it. Why do we sometimes waste so much energy stressing over it? I always think about, okay, what was the lesson I needed to learn from that? Because I hated that. Oh, I didn't like it, or, you know, whatever. So, okay, what can I learn? Take the learning, and now let's move on. So those are things that sit within our circle of concern. The cost of crisis, the cost of living crisis, excuse me. You know, these are things I can't directly influence. But what can I do? I can think about increasing my revenue, my streams of income. So, as I said, things I can control, what actions I take, what I do, what I read, where I shop, what I buy, relationships with others. And I always like to pause there, because there is no relationship that you have to have.
Anything with teenagers?
All right, maybe.
Maybe that's
My teenagers today.
You know, and then when there are those ones that's a little bit more challenging to just snip, you know, there's the, okay, how much am I going to engage with you? You know, because actually, if it really is negatively affecting me, I need to just put a little bit of space. You know, I'm going to be in my room. When you're nice, come and talk to me. You know, it might be a bit more of that. But there's no relationship that I really have to have and fully engage in. Sometimes we need to create a bit of space to protect ourselves and our well-being and to maintain
And our energies.
and our energy, because people do impact you.
Yeah.
You make choices, but people still do impact you. Do I want to waste my energy after all the negativity that you poured into me and over me, having to recharge myself to try and be positive? Well, I'm just going to keep a bit further away, so less splashes of that. My attitude, that's something I influence and I control. My choices, my career, my business, the books I write or don't write, the articles, the photographs I take, whatever it is, these are things that I can control. And when I start to focus more, as you can see in this second one, the circle of concern is enlarged on the things that I can do and less on the things that I can't. It's amazing how different life can become.
You're
And
flipping
that's
things
it.
around, right?
How different it makes you feel. I love Maya Angelou's quote, which is, people will forget what you've said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way that you made them feel.
Yeah.
And what we're all wanting in life really is a feeling.
Yeah.
The new house is how it feels. The new car is how it feels. Losing the weight, gaining the weight, whichever way around you want it to be, is how you feel.
That's so true, Jasmine.
That's what we really want. So empowerment's about how you really feel about you, not the gloss that you want to project. It's how you really feel. And so what you see on this slide is that when we shift, I'll just pass that around again if I don't read that, when you shift from a more reactive focus, where you're driven by what others do and say and what's going on outside of you, and this is where we're moving from an external locus of control to an internal one, you will start to see that life changes, that you become a more positive person, and life itself becomes more positive. They say it's not so much that you need to change the things that you're looking at, or the things that you're looking at need to change. You just need to change the things that you're looking at, or how you are looking at the things that you see, actually. It can just simply be a shift in the mindset. And so making that shift by choosing to focus on what is the part that I'm playing in those situations. I had to take real stock in my relationship that was in that was not working for me and think, what part am I playing in this? And I'm not victim bashing. there's quite a difference, and I really think it's something we need to get clear about, because we still are complicit. Maybe I don't have the understanding I need to recognise that, and that's then a process that I need to undergo. But I was at a place where I could say, there's a part that I'm playing here. What is that part that I'm playing? Because I want to change.
Must have been hard to do.
Very hard to do, but the one thing that I knew is I never wanted to be in that situation again. And I can't control other people. I can only control me. And if I'm the common denominator in any relationship that I'm in, I've got to make sure that I work on whatever needs to be worked on here, so that out here reflects what I want it to. And so I began to work on changing that focus from what I cannot really control and don't have much influence over to what I could control, the difference that I could make. And wherever you've got a situation of, but I can't, there's always that bit that you can. And so if you have the right mindset, you find the bit that you can and you stretch it as much as you can, and life starts to get better and you begin to feel more empowered, because then you realise, I can't do much over there, so do I want to go over there in fact? It's going to make me feel more powerless rather than powerful. Actually, I'll pass. Or maybe I'll just swing by. I won't spend too much time there. So this, ladies, is the major way that we can take ourselves from feeling less powerful to more powerful, disempowered to empowered. Focus on what you can do. And then just to share my AAAs with you, the AAA is a process that I just gradually came up with, because what helped me go from, I didn't mention it in my story, was I used to hate looking in the mirror.
You're so beautiful though.
Like, when literally you go, oh God, and felt disappointed, genuinely disappointed. I would get dressed up to go to my girlfriends when I was in my uni years, actually, so like your kind of age, and I'd go, you look half decent, Jazz, and then I'd see my friends, and literally I just remember feeling my heart sink. Because I'd see them and I'd be like, oh, they all look so good. And then there's me. That was a mindset issue, because I haven't really changed a whole lot. Got a bit more belly and all that stuff, but do you know what I mean? Not a whole lot. But it was due to, again, it's those experiences that were beyond my control, the things that I'd gone through in life. But in realising that I needed to do that inner work, I found something called affirmations. And I'm a Christian. And so I'd learnt about in church, there was a scripture, a man called David in the Bible, I don't know if you know about him, but he's quite well known, and he is a little bit of a rascal, but does all right in the end. And at some point, there's a scripture where it says, he says to himself, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's what he said about himself, like, I'm the one, like, do you know what I mean? And he says, about God, marvellous are your works. This my soul knows very well. In other words, God, you did at me, you did good. So I tweaked that, and I committed to saying that every morning and every night. And one day, something just flicked in me. And I looked in the mirror, and I wasn't disappointed anymore. One day, and I was just like, what is it? I found a sense of peace I'd never had before.
So you put that down to the affirmations?
It's the affirmations, because it's been scientifically proven, anything that we repeatedly hear, we will come to believe. Yes. It's been proven. They've done it with kids that are exceptional, and they've had it as an experiment. They took them to a teacher who every day told them they were dumb, they were stupid, and their academic performance declined. Even though they were exceptional children. Whatever we repeatedly hear, we will come to believe. That's why that woman who enters into a relationship and she's gorgeous and she knows it, has a man that just batters her with his words every day. Not a fist, but words. By the end of it, doesn't like herself. And she kept hearing it time and time again. So why don't we flip that on its head and tell ourselves what it is that we need to hear? That's what that scripture basically I was doing. And so this is what I always work with women to do. Create some affirmations that supports them and gets them to tell themselves those things that will empower them and shift their thinking in key areas. So that's the first A, ladies. We need to affirm. The second A is we need to take action. And so it can be the action of committing to saying the affirmations every morning and every night. It can be the action of, I hate public speaking, but I'm going to come to the networking meeting and I'm going to actually be the speaker. Whatever it is that takes you out of your comfort zone, because we know that's where the magic happens. But actions in alignment with where we want to go and who we want to become. take action, commit to it daily, because it's the small things that we then build upon. So the second step is to take action. And the third and the final one is to be accountable. Because how many times have we said, I'm going to, and never have? And then when you said to someone, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do, they're like, yeah, you're right, check up on me. Hold me accountable. And they go, so how you getting on? You're like, I'm trying to avoid them. Because you know. Right. You know they're going to ask you because you've told them, hold me accountable, check in on me. So now you're like, right, I'm going to see Sandra, so I need to make sure I've done something. I mean, anything, I need to have done something. Yeah. So by being accountable, it means that we stay committed to those goals, to those aspirations.
Would be nice if people in Pink Biz could hook up and have accountability buddies.
Yes. And that's what
Let's look into that.
Something I want to look into creating is a bit of a group where we have that, where we are tapping into a network where we're just like checking in with each other, and in that way of it's in love. You know, just checking in. One, how you doing, but two, how you doing on that thing you said you're going to do. Because you know what love gives you.
I love that. I love that.
So those are the triple A's. We need to affirm, we need to act, and we need to be accountable. Yeah? So if you haven't heard that, feel free. So in summary today, ladies, what I want to just remind you to do in order for you to be empowered, more powerful, more confident, is commit to the following. Focus in on what you can do. Be affirming daily. Every day affirm yourself. I am beautiful. When was the last time you told yourself that? You don't. Who are you waiting on? Because I mean, you know, some of us husbands, they love us, but jeez, man. Or partners, they ain't telling us this kind of stuff on a regular basis. You know?
Only in the dating stage.
Right, yeah. And then it's like, do you like me? They don't hear it. They still do, but they just don't articulate. So we can't wait on somebody else to tell us the things that we want to hear. Tell it to yourself. So be affirming daily. Take action each day and be accountable to a few. Those few people that you trust and that you know hold you in love, but will give you when necessary. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, ladies. I have got a little bit on my Fempowered method. I'm just going to say, if you want to have a little read about that,
Pass it round. Yeah.
Feel free. And then, in order for us to connect, I've got a lovely little QR code. If you're all
Lovely. Pass it round, Jasmine.
So, yep, you can scan that. And what I would like to share with you is that you can find out how empowered you are by taking our Empowered Score Quiz.
Love that.
And
I love a quiz.
Subsequently to taking the Empowered Score Quiz, if you book a complimentary insight call with myself, you'll be entered into our prize draw. And that's next month. We're going to have a prize draw where you get a little goodie bag and you can get one of the books that I have co-authored.
Wow.
Either the
Jasmine, will you send me the links to these books and things?
one of those. Yep, I will do.
So I can put them in the group.
Sure. So, thank you ladies very much.
Thank you, Jasmine. Woo! Inspiring. Thank you, Jasmine.